Hi there, my name is Trinity and welcome to my April TBR. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 10 books I want to hopefully kind of read in April. Let's get started. I've kind of divided it up into categories. So my first category is new releases. There are 2 new releases coming out in April that I really want to read. So the first one I have is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which will release on April 11th. It is the sequel kind of companion novel to Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, which I read in March, absolutely adored. In this novel, we are going to be following her best friend, Bree. I think it's kind of like a workplace romance sort of situation. I really don't know too much about it. All I know is it's coming out and I want to read it because I was obsessed with the first one. The second one, which I'm sure is going to be on everybody's April TBR, we have Happy Place by Emily Henry, our queen. That one will release on April 25th. In this one, we kind of have ex-boyfriend and girlfriend, friends, to fake dating to lovers, maybe, hopefully. It is about this group of friends, and our 2 main characters have been dating forever and they have recently broken up, but they have this big cottage trip they always go on with their friends, and they decide to just fake date each other still, even though they're not together, instead of just telling them that they're not actually together anymore. All I know is Emily Henry is like becoming one of my favorite authors. She's amazing at writing banter and characters, and I'm just excited for this one. This one I'm sure I'm going to devour as soon as it comes out on April 25th. My next category that I have is everything that I physically have on my TBR that I can just pick up and read. We have Collided by Lauren Asher, the second book in the Dirty Air trilogy. In this book, we are following Sophie and Liam. Liam is like a Formula 1 racer. Sophie is one of the team's daughter, I guess. Her dad's like a big captain. I don't know anything about racing. Do you? I don't. And they kind of, I think, grew up as friends, and she has like this kind of little bucket list, and he's gonna help her with that. I'm excited. I really enjoyed the first one, which was Throttled, so I picked up the second one, and hopefully I will read this very soon. The next one you are going to be sick of hearing about. We have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I know. I was supposed to read this in March. I was going to, but then I read the Carnival trilogy, and this, out of my mind, didn't even know it was going. I've already explained the plot of this book like at least 3 times. I know we have Jude is human. There are fairies, there is a kingdom. She wants to like prove to her kingdom that she's worthy, I guess. I really also don't know too much about this one. It's a big series. Is it called No, that's a different series. The Folk of the Air trilogy, that's what it's called. First book in the Folk of the Air trilogy. I will really hopefully read this one, I hope. Hopefully. The next book that I physically own, The Dragons of Minute by C.N. McCabe, which I've already talked about plenty, so you kind of know what this one is about. Obviously, I was gifted this by the author when my parents reached out, so I want to read this immediately. Every time I see it up there on my little TBR cart, I'm like, oh my god. I should read that because it sounds so good. We've got fantasy, dragons, a village, like I don't even know. All I know is this seems so exciting and I cannot wait to read this one. This one kind of intimidates me. I don't know why. This one just intimidates me and I'm a little afraid to read it, even though like after I read the other book, I immediately purchased this one. But I have Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home, the 3rd book in the Magnolia Parks universe. I've read the first one, which is Magnolia Parks, and then Daisy Hates. I loved both of those ones. Both ones are very entertaining, very good. This one's picking up right after Magnolia Parks. I don't know how to feel. I'm a little afraid. Everyone feels like it hurts more in this one. Look how pretty this is. I don't know why. I'm just very nervous. It's very big for a romance novel that's kind of like Gossip Girl that doesn't really go all that far. Like, I'm very nervous to read this book. I don't know why. It just sits up there and I get really nervous. My next little category are my maybes. These are maybe ones that I maybe might read. I'm not too sure. We'll see where the month goes. But this little stack here that I have is also physical TBR, but kind of more of my like on the back burners. We'll see if we get it. I have Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. In this book, we are following Chloe Brown. It seems she's like really geeky, really nerdy. She's got like this list that she wants to get out of life, and it's all these crazy things like have a drunken night out, go camping, do something bad, like all of these things. And I think she meets like this guy. I'm not sure what his name is. I haven't read the book yet, but he's got a motorcycle is what I know, and she's a good girl and he's a bad boy. And that's all I know about this book. I've heard Talia Hibbert is like a fantastic author, so I want to read the Brown sisters, that little trilogy, to just see how I like her and her writing. I'm sure it will be great, but I want to hopefully maybe dive into this one. And I know, last month I did put one of her books on my TBR. I did, and I really did want to read it, but then I got so distracted by other books, and then the weather got nice and I wasn't feeling it anymore. We have The Wall of Winnipeg by Mariana Zapata. This one is, I believe, a football romance, and she's like the assistant, and then she quits, and then all of a sudden the super grumpy quarterback or whatever is like, no, and he like comes to her and is begging. That's all I know. I know it's a sports romance. I know Mariana Zapata is a slow burn queen, and I'm very excited to get into her books. I may start with this one. I'm thinking I'll start with this one because people either say to start with The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, or from Look Off with Love, which I was going to read last month. And then I didn't. She's just another author where I don't know why. I'm just intimidated to read them. And I know they're slow burns, so that's kind of maybe like another reason why. I don't know. I don't believe I've read like a slow burn before, but maybe and hopefully I'll read this one. The next book I have is Twisted Love by Anna Huang, which is the first book in the Twisted series. I finally caved and I bought the first book. I hear the first book isn't like the best, but if you continue with the series, it's amazing. I know that this is like brother's best friend, brother's younger sister kind of thing. I don't know. I hear the female characters in these books are amazing, but Alex isn't like the best. I know he's super grumpy and like possessive and that sort of stuff. So I'm not too sure how I feel about this book, which is why it's kind of on my maybes. I may read it if I'm feeling like giving it a chance. But I definitely do want to read this at some point. So I'm putting it on my April maybes part of my TBR just to see how I feel. But we'll see. Hopefully I will. Well, we don't know, man. My very last category I have is books that I need to buy so that I can read them. However, both of the books in this category I did purchase, they're just on their way. If you didn't know, I read the Carvel trilogy last month and became obsessed. Like obsessed. Like I'm still emotionally recovering from reading finale. Like I don't know why, I just loved it so much. It just encapsulated my entire world. Like I'm obsessed with it. Anyway, so naturally I need to continue on and I need to buy Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, which is the first novel in her, I think it's just called Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. It's going to be a trilogy. So I bought the first one, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I did actually go ahead and purchase The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, which is the second book, because I know this series follows Jax and then Evangeline, and I'm not sure how Evangeline ties into the other novels, but Jax is of course in the Carvel trilogy and he is everything and we love him. So naturally I want to go on and read his story and just become even more obsessed with it. That's what I want to do. I want to just sit there and read that forever. Is that too intense? All I know is that we have Evangeline. She is our protagonist and she makes a deal with Jax, the Prince of Hearts, for 3 kisses. And she's like, that's nothing. But is it nothing? I don't know. Those are the 10 books I would absolutely love to get to for my April TBR. That's about 10 books there. I may get to them, I may not. I may switch them out with other books. I've been doing that recently, which usually I'm pretty good at sticking to my TBR. However, last month I took a shot in the dark and I went a little crazy. So hopefully we will do better for March. But that is all I have for today's video. I hope you give lots of love, give lots of kisses, and just have a great day. Bye guys.